jet-powered death from above. Shahed drones blazing at 500 kilometers per hour. Radars fooled, defenses outmaneuvered. Civilian homes crumble, 31 dead. Ukraine scrambles interceptors at a massive cost. Russia's new drone arsenal tests every shield and every strategy. As Kyiv mourns, the question looms. Can Ukraine's skyward guardians adapt before the next strike?
Торговельний центр «Аврора». Наслідки з'ясовуємо.
A new wave of Russian airstrikes on Kyiv has introduced a growing concern for Ukraine's air defense network. Ukrainian officials confirmed the use of a jet-powered variant of the Shahed drone. Faster, harder to intercept, and more complex than its propeller-driven predecessor. Ukraine's Interior Minister Ihor Klimenko said these drones targeted civilian and public infrastructure, killing at least 31 people. These Shahed-type drones were used against civilian and public infrastructure. Ukrainian Air Force spokesperson Yuri Inat described the drones as reaching speeds above 500 kilometers per hour and often misidentified by radar as cruise missiles.
They sound different from the older versions. They fly so fast not all of our systems can stop them. In fact, radars sometimes mistake them for cruise missiles.
Analysts believe these are upgraded versions of Iran's Shahed 238, equipped with turbojet engines and smaller warheads. It looks similar to the older Shahed 136, but is faster and harder to detect. Aviation analyst Konstantin Krivolap told Focus that they can fly at speeds of 400 to 600 kilometers per hour and heights up to 9 kilometers or 30,000 feet. Military expert Pavlo Narozhny noted that these drones carry smaller warheads, about 50 kilograms, but cost far more to produce. Military experts say the drones present a dual challenge. Their high speed evades ground-based defences, and when used in combination with slower drones, they strain Ukraine's interception strategies. The use of both types in a single attack raises the risk of friendly fire, especially at night. While a regular Shahed costs around $200,000, jet-powered Shaheds cost significantly more, around $1 million each, due largely to their complex engines. While Russia is producing thousands of propeller-driven drones monthly, analysts believe it may only manufacture limited numbers of the jet variants due to cost and production constraints. Ukrainian officials say current countermeasures, including interceptor drones and surface-to-air missiles, are expensive and difficult to scale. Digital Transformation Minister Mikhailo Fedorov acknowledged that drone tactics are evolving daily, forcing Ukraine to continually adapt.
Russia will definitely switch to jet drones. We need to work on this. They are already integrating various solutions that allow Shaheds to bypass interceptors, and we are implementing other solutions. Therefore, this is a daily change of tactics.
As drone warfare grows more sophisticated, Ukraine faces increasing pressure to update its defenses quickly, while Russia tests the boundaries of both cost and capability. Russia launched a wave of drone and missile strikes on Kyiv early on July 31st, killing at least 31 people and injuring 159 in what officials are calling one of the deadliest assaults on the capital since the start of the full-scale invasion. Kyiv's military administration chief, Timur Tkachenko, confirmed that rescue operations continued through the night in the city's Sviatoshinsky district, where victims were still being pulled from the rubble.
Search operations continued through the night and are still underway. Recovery of victims' bodies is ongoing in the Sviatoshinsky district.
Among the dead was Senior Police Lieutenant Lilia Stepanchuk, who had served since 2017. Mayor Vitaly Klitschko noted that 12 children were injured, the highest number recorded in any single attack on Kyiv. The barrage, which included over 300 drones and 8 missiles, struck at least 27 locations across multiple districts, damaging homes, schools, railways, and a mosque. President Volodymyr Zelensky declared August 1st a day of mourning in the capital. In a statement, he linked the timing of the assault to US President Donald Trump's recent ultimatum threatening tariffs unless Moscow agrees to halt the war within 10 days. Speaking to Ukrainian media, Zelensky said the attack shows Moscow's unwillingness to de-escalate, adding that Western nations have the tools to pressure the Kremlin toward peace. Ukrainian authorities say recovery efforts remain ongoing. US President Donald Trump has condemned Russia's latest missile strikes on Ukraine as disgusting, signaling a tougher stance on Moscow's continued aggression. Speaking to reporters at the White House on July 31st, Trump said the Kremlin now has about 8 days to reach a peace deal or face new US sanctions. Trump, however, acknowledged uncertainty over whether sanctions would influence President Vladimir Putin's actions.
Russia, I think it's disgusting what they're doing. I think it's disgusting. This is Biden's war, it's not my war. But I said if I get in, I'll try and get the thing stopped. But I think what Russia's doing is very sad. A lot of Russians are dying. You have a lot of Russians, more Russians are dying, but Russians are dying, Ukrainians are dying. You know, the United States isn't really involved in that war. It shouldn't be. And by the way, I made a deal with NATO where NATO pays us for everything that we send. We send them. And yeah, we're going to put sanctions. I don't know that sanctions bother him. You know, they know about sanctions. I know better than anybody about sanctions and tariffs and everything else. I don't know if that has any effect, but we're going to do it. Europe is extremely upset. But this is a war that should have never happened. This is a war that wouldn't have happened if I were president. And this is Biden's war. This was a stupid war to get into. Should have never gotten into this war.
The Trump administration has set an August 8th deadline for a peace agreement to end the war. Senior US diplomat John Kelly reinforced that position at the UN Security Council, emphasizing Washington's urgency for a ceasefire. Trump also announced that his special envoy for the Middle East, Steve Witkoff, will visit Russia after his current meetings in Israel. Witkoff, a real estate developer with no prior diplomatic background, has previously met with Putin and now plays a key role in backchannel discussions. However, his ties to Russian intermediaries and controversial remarks about occupied territories have raised concerns within diplomatic circles. The administration says sanctions will proceed if no deal is reached.